What is going on, Panther Lair? We are talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers 67-66 home victory over the Ohio State Buckeyes this past Friday. Now, I've said in the past that this Pitt team is going to have to live off making contested shots. I think there's a lot of offenses that have to do that, maybe the Panthers a little bit more so than others, but wanted to take a look at some of these shots and talk about ones that I thought, okay, Pitt probably should continue to take those versus ones that just, in my opinion, think that they can live without. So without kind of prefacing that anymore, let's dive in here. I got 5 possessions, 5 shots to take a look at. I wanted to highlight this one because while this is kind of during the streak where the Panthers aren't scoring, there's a streak in here where they miss like 11 of 12 shots. Ohio State starts coming back after being down 4-16. But this is one of the actions that I think Pitt had some success with throughout the game. And it's this, zipper cut into a DHO here featuring Dunning Jr. and Corin. And sometimes it features this like back screen, kind of like this rip screen, which allows Corin to have an option to maybe go into, Sulipa if they don't defend that right, or in this instance, to go to the ball or to go to Sulipa. And so I think Bruce Thornton here is kind of caught in no man's land because of this. So it gives him just a little bit of an advantage coming into this screen. There's times where you see Dunning Jr. drive on this. I think he was 7-7 on 2-pointers. So I think, obviously this is a guy that can put the ball on the floor and score. He did quite a bit of that on Friday night. But here, just like a step back jumper. Not the worst shot in the world, but I just think that, for a guy that's not really a 40% guy, and I really don't know what his splits are going to be off the dribble. I'm sure it's a little less than that. Probably somewhere even below 30. I think it's a shot that the team could live without. So we go, that's the kind of horns, Iverson cut over top. You're going to see, though, the same action where you're going to see this kind of rip screen here. This being early, pretty much the first possession in the second half. Does not generate an advantage. They just kind of choose to switch, and they just kind of feel this out as the DHO occurs. I don't think this one's bad. Just kind of rises up. I don't know how contested this is from the angle. There's an opportunity for maybe Dunning to take this. I mean, just given his athlete and his size, probably can take an extra step into this, but just rises right in rhythm, takes this shot, just doesn't go down. Not really a great night shooting the 3 ball. He only made 1. I think he took like maybe 5 or 6. But I think that is one of the ones that, hey, this Pitt team probably can continue to take. The first one, I think the Panthers probably should avoid. So here we go again. This is that time period where Ohio State's coming back. Obviously, at this point, they're on like a 9-0 run. And here you have Minor with a sidestepping self-creation 3. Doesn't hit anything. These are definitely ones. We've seen him make this. I think when I did my breakdown of what he was bringing from like Oregon State, that this is a shot that he made. But I just don't think this is a high percentage shot for like anybody, for the most part, that's not at the next level. So probably one that the team could do without. This one, though, I like a little bit more. Or no, this is going to be the same one. Sorry. Again, sidestepping 3. I don't even know if that maybe glazed the backboard slightly or the glass slightly. Not great. This one, though, I do think the team should continue to take. And he did this in the first half. I don't think this ended in a shot when he did in the first half, but we watched Bub Carrington do this quite a bit, and that's snaking out the pick and roll. Look, teams are going to continue to weak DeMarco Minor. What that means is they're going to set up in ball screen situations, if they can, to force him to keep the ball in the left hand. So, this guy's going to kind of pseudo-ice. He's going to not allow the usage of the screen. Corin's defender is going to not quite be on drop. Maybe he's just like somewhere between drop and up the touch, but he's just trying to contain this, keep the ball on one directional force, keep it on this side of the floor, keep it in Minor's left hand. It's going to continue to be a theme throughout the season. But by snaking this, one, you're keeping everybody in help a lot longer here, and you're getting the ball back in your dominant hand. So keeping all these defenders in help. Look, this stunt has to be a little bit later. The recovery, had he made the pass right here, you could see Dunning attack a closeout. You could see him lift and shoot a 3. But instead, he just takes a step back, and this is wide open. I don't think the team has any problem with him taking a shot like this. I know it's self-creation. I know it's off the dribble. But by simply snaking out that pick and roll, he just gets a wide open look, and I'm more than comfortable with him taking that shot. So just wanted to talk a little bit about shot selection. Wanted to follow up about the fact that, this team does have to live off some tough shots, but, there's some that are, they're not all created equal, right? And I think that's what we're seeing here. And I think the team took a fair amount of good shots. I think Pitt took a fair amount of less, or I should say the Panthers took less self-creation than they did some open shots that may have been a little contested, and I think it's one of the reasons why they ended up pulling out the victory.